Good morning. No, I'm kidding. Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. This is Boozy News. We are affiliated with Sky's Crescent Radio. We are affiliated with City World Radio, a.k.a. Supreme Bars. This is Boozy News. We tell the world news, local as in American, and also world as in everyone else. And we do this over alcohol. Now,
why was there such a sigh before
I have to
that?
sigh because what I realized when we first started doing this last year, we took a little hiatus, but when we first started doing it, I realized that I make drinks for people, and that was fun, and all the shaking ended up on the microphones. And then as we drank throughout the entire session, we didn't really, I'm not an enabler, but we didn't really get busy until towards the end of the segment. I know. So we ended up getting a little bit more squiffy, like towards the end of the segment. I have a million different ways of saying getting buzzed. And so what we have been doing recently, in the last few months, we've been pre-gaming. And that's why I sighed, because, one, it was a sigh of relief that the bottle's almost over. But two, it's a sigh of despair because the bottle's almost over. And we're about to get it in. Let's see what happens. We got a nice little creative team of panelists here.
Let's see what you got.
Let's see what you got. All right? We've all been in
Show me
news.
what you got.
I'm going to say newsy booze. Yep. That still works, right? Newsy booze, boozy news. Damn. That's called spoonerism and alliteration at the same time.
Splatterhouse gang.
Splatterhouse gang. That's an inside
gang,
joke.
Josh gang.
All right.
All the gang.
So let's get it poppin'. We are going to start off with the lovely lady of Supreme Bars, Lex Rush. I'm sorry, all of NYC, not just Supreme Bars, but she is like our angel.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Looking like an angel.
Thank you.
All right, talk to us, Lex Rush. Let us know what you're all about.
What's up? My name is Lex Rush. Psyched to be here. I was saying earlier, I think I was on one of like the first Boozy News episodes, so I'm psyched to be back. But yeah, I guess Lex Rush 13 on all social media platforms. I got some new music coming out. Been working with Sky Crescent Radio's very own Jade Zabrick. We have a collective known as the Train Walkers. Got new music coming out as part of a project called Queen's Affair with Jam Young, plus some solo Lucy tracks. And yeah, shout outs to Supreme Bars, Freestyle Mondays, Nocturnal Rhyme Sessions, Legendary Cypher, Supreme Fam, the whole schmear of hip hop events in New York.
All right. Why Lex Rush 13? Why 13?
Oh, I mean, because July 13th is my birthday, and like 13 was always my number in like basketball. Hey, that's what's up. July? Are you July?
June 30th.
Oh, yeah, nice. That's what's up.
Water signs.
13.
What are you?
Pisces.
What are you?
I'm Taurus.
All right, okay.
You're all right. Taurus is
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Taurus is
Also,
good.
Super King, I don't know if you know, my mom's birthday is the day after yours. She's March 5th.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Crazy.
That works.
Yeah.
Water gang.
Right. So 13 is a very lucky number sometimes. Good old 13. Super King Armor, Scarman, Mr. Mercer,
Come on, dude.
Destroyer of Worlds.
Destroyer of Worlds. The legendary Nubian African porn star.
Okay.
I just won an Avian Award last week. It's fucking
Congratulations.
great. Thank you.
What's
You know
an
what I mean?
Avian Award?
Oh, bro, you need to get up to speed. Let's go.
I don't know what
that
We're
like
going to
a-
Vegas in January.
I got you.
I thought it had
Is
something
that
to
like
do with
a-
birds. Like,
It's the Bird Flu Award.
Well,
You got the Bird Flu Award,
so
didn't
sick
you?
with it, the avian flu award.
Yeah. Got the Mile High Club Award?
oh
or
shit.
what's-
Nah, but
but
so what do I say? I wear many hats. Entrepreneur, self-published, successful author, artist, illustrator, 3-time Supreme Bars champion.
yeah, just 2019 alone.
Damn.
Yeah.
3 times two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
MC
I
extraordinaire.
feel like you illustrate stuff, and it might have ended up in a recent show.
We
It
got
might
our
have ended up
first
on
spill.
on a
Sloshing
Hulu show
already.
recently.
I kind of don't want to talk about that.
Oh,
Only because
you did sign a waiver.
I signed a thingamajig.
An NDA.
NDA.
Yeah.
You know, one of those
Eh,
things. I'm not
eh,
supposed to talk about it.
yeah.
You know.
They probably
What if
signed
it's
them
already
here.
if it already comes out?
The
is that
show
still-
has already aired, but the episode. So, my illustration book that I published is featured in a a show that is out right now, and my episode. My episode, this nigga here, boy. They gonna pull the whole episode, be like, "Fuck that!"
I don't even know what happens to this person.
So it's currently being featured in the show. My episode that my book is in hasn't aired yet. So until that airs, I'm gonna, kind of keep that hush hush. Yeah, it was in what's the show about the lady that's being tortured who's wearing red the whole time? Maiden's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale.
Handmaid's Tale.
It's in there. Totally not.
Maiden's Tale.
Maiden's Tale. Maiden's Tale.
Of June. Oh, yeah, it's not of June.
What
Her
else?
name's June.
What else? What else?
She's of Fred.
What else do I
She's
say?
of Joseph. Of
Yeah.
Fred. Of Joseph.
So this I can say. Yo, Nocturnal Rhyme Sessions this Thursday, 8 to 12 in Washington Square Park. I am the creator founder of that, one of the greatest ciphers of all time in New York City. And AM New Yorker is going to be coming down to interview us. So if you are, this Thursday, September 19th, so if you are an MC, bring your ass so you can be all in the camera, all in the videos, and be on AM New Yorker and tell all your mama and your friends and your family. AM New Yorker.
New York?
I've been drinking. Shut up. Splatterhouse gang.
All right, we're going to plug that in later on at the end of the show. That's what they all said. So,
Especially
can
here.
we get a little something from Sam Pop, please?
Hey everybody, my
Hey.
name is Sam Pop. I am an
Is
event.
that your real name?
It is my real name.
Sam Pop.
It is my real name. People like to ID me. They will demand to see my ID in person. When I first moved to New York, a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's so cool, Sam Pop. That's your name. What's your real name?" Like everyone thinks it's a stage name, but no, it's my real. My real
Pop
name.
short for something like in
Nope.
Greek? Like
No.
Papadopoulos or something?
Well, the story is that apparently a long time ago when my family did come to Ellis Island, it was like Paparinsky, and they shortened it to Pop.
Papadinsky.
Pop.
Pop.
But yeah, my name is Samantha Pop, but I go by Sam Pop because it's a little more punchy.
Sounds good.
I'm an event planner, marketer. I work full time doing event planning for Bowmore Lanes,
Bowmore.
in Times Square
Yeah.
in Chelsea Piers.
Gotta hit it up.
So I sell like really big corporate events to companies that want to come bowl and drink and eat sliders. And then
Her coworkers are weird and awesome too.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's great events that
He
she
knows my
throws too.
bottom.
I love being
Thank
there.
you
every
so
time.
much. And I also work for Madam X, which is a historic bar in Greenwich Village. I do all of their social media, marketing, PR. We just had Madonna throw her 61st birthday
What?
party.
That's
at our
insane. Are you
bar.
serious?
Yeah, I'm very
Holy
serious.
whoa.
And Jadena just shot his latest video.
I
in
love
our space
Jadena.
as
Yeah,
well.
Jenna's everywhere now.
He's so
He's
good.
at Madam X, so I do all
That's
their social media and
crazy.
marketing as well. And I'm a big fan of politics and current events and drinking. So very happy to be here on Newsy Booze.
Newsy Booze. the other side of Boozy News.
Yeah.
First it's Boozy News, and then it becomes Newsy Booze, and at the end it's just booze. All right. Now, I am Roberto de Jesus, creator of Supreme Bars, which in turn became the creator of Boozy News. I love to tell world politics, I guess. Not exactly world politics, but just current events. Politics isn't exactly my game. It's not exactly my forte. But if you're going to tell world current events, politics just runs alongside with it. I never even mention our politics in America because you already get enough of that saturated all over your
Absolutely.
social media feeds. Now, we probably might end up talking about it with one of our articles today, but we don't have to. You could if you like. You could say 45. You could say whatever you want. Whether or not you voted for whoever, it doesn't really matter. We talk about actual issues involving humans. We don't exactly talk about, the circus that is politics in America or elsewhere. It does affect our global economy. It does affect us, period. And that's what gets us to drink sometimes. So let's get into one of our major issues happening in the world, especially in South Africa, mainly because it's actually relatable to this country. It's relatable to what's happening right now. In South Africa, there has been a slew of riots in Johannesburg, in various parts of South Africa, mainly Johannesburg. And this is all revolving around foreigners, especially Nigerians, who have come into South Africa to migrate there and to start a new life. Now, the only issue is because they came in to start a new life, the unemployment rate shot up in South Africa. It's not only because of foreigners. Now, we have the same issues happening here in America. if our unemployment rate goes up, we don't exactly say it's because foreigners are taking our jobs. Foreigners taking American jobs is actually still part of the employment rate, whether or not they're legal or illegal. Now, in South Africa, it has one of the best economies in the continent itself. Now, what's going on now, because of the string of riots happening in South Africa, the xenophobia started to kick in. The racism started to kick in, and South Africans are blaming Nigerians and other foreigners of whatever, as far as like their economy going lower, the unemployment rate going higher. And because of all this, South Africa is allowing the repatriation of Nigerians to go back to Nigeria, go back to where they came from. At least 600 citizens are being sought to repatriate. This is only 600 citizens, I know, but this is the beginning of a major crisis that is about to go down. So far, as of this week, I believe it's 200. The article itself was 2 weeks ago, and they did say it's going to be an estimated 600. Now we're talking about 600 out of 190 million Nigerians out there. Yes, I looked it up. There are almost 200 million Nigerians, which is more than Dominicans, Israeli. There are a lot of Nigerians out there. South Africa itself, its population is 56.7 million. I can imagine how they might feel as though a population of 200 million might come down to their country and try to make a better home for themselves. There's plenty of ways to go about this. There's plenty of solutions that you can come up. We've tried to come up with these solutions before. Now we're just trying to kick everyone out of our country. We need more solutions. So first off, I need someone to at least comment on the issue, because the more I talk about it, the more angry I get. And the more I drink, the more angry I get. So, not you yet. No, not yet. I know you're about to say something, Super King.
I can, though.
Yeah, you were about to get angry.
I know. I got beautiful women around me today. I'm not going to. There was a lot of black men in here, and that was just all that black heat, sub-Saharan heat in here last time, and Dominican heat. So motherfucker was angry just over GP. So I couldn't help that.
I think you sort of riled everyone up. We're like, yeah, let's get mad together.
Yeah, I got to watch that, because I got this charismatic
Go back
leadership.
and watch every Boozy News. It's hilarious,
it's a great
y'all.
fucking show.
Super King, when he got on Boozy News last time, Boozy News last time.
The name is going to be completely different.
At one point, we all just sat back and just kept staring at him like, damn, man.
I didn't know.
He was spitting the real. He was spitting real stuff there, but at the same time, we're like, he's the mad rapper right now.
Damn, I haven't seen you go off like that in a while, man.
Yeah,
I missed out.
It wasn't all anger. I mean, he was funny as hell, but we got into it, man.
I will say that it seems like no matter what goes on, that things like this are not just regimented to our country alone. The American mindset, you get this kind of perspective that number one, that Americans feel like they know everything, right? And then there's the perspective that Americans are the most ignorant, most racist motherfuckers, but we live in the greatest country in the world and this and that. But then you go across the world and you see shit like this, and you know that
the same thing is happening.
Yes, it's the human condition. So I will be fair, and I will put myself out there, because I need to do that. I did not read all of the required materials for the class.
Let me just get that out of the way.
Let me get out the word.
Let me hear me give a brief explanation of the situation.
But let me put myself on the cross real quick and wear my thorns real fast. But I will say that what am I going to say? Because I'm just shooting from the gut right now. I feel that it's kind of a cop-out answer, but I feel like there has to be some other. What is the solution that is not being used here? Because
both governments are actually agreeing. Both governments are agreeing that the Nigerians are allowed to go back to their country and repatriate, become Nigerian citizens again. Yet no one's giving any financial assistance at all to these people coming back.
And there was
They're
violence.
coming back homeless, basically.
There was violence.
Always
right?
violence.
I was reading in one.
There were 10 people killed, and only 2 of them were Nigerian.
Wow.
Right.
The thing that confused me, though, and maybe you guys could help clarify, was I thought Nigeria also had a really good economy. So, why are so many people, is it just, coincidence?
So many reasons. Okay, well, All right, I know some.
Not
of my
to
friends,
knock people.
No,
from
I know. I know
moving,
some of
move
my
if you
friends
want,
who
but,
are
like,
Nigerian.
yeah.
If they're trying, like listening, they're gonna hate me for saying this. But one of the reasons is the Boko Haram, which
okay,
is
fair
a
enough. I mean,
ridiculous
Okay.
nihilist, like
Shit, yeah.
extremist group in North Nigeria. They're from Cameroon. They're set in Cameroon, yet they do affect a lot of they steal children. I've talked about this so many times. My weekly rap downs on YouTube. They literally like abduct children.
Yeah.
And they pillage villages. A lot of people do not like the situation there right now, and they head out to find better land. It's like MS-13 taking over Central America. Then people just want to leave to like California or like Texas, whatever. It's happening everywhere. There's gang violence in Mexico. Even though Mexico's economy, I've looked up, is actually not too bad right now. There's still a lot of like cop corruption and like gang warfare. There was just a club last week or the week before that was just set on fire with like 22 people who died just in that fire alone.
Sounds
it's
like
all gang
Queens
related.
in the 90s in the summer.
Right. And it's all gang related, right? So there's a lot of reasons why they're leaving this country. Like they go back to South Africa again because they feel as though there's a better economy there and they have more of a better condition of living in
So,
South Africa.
Question is, I thought but I just wanted to clarify. Is Boko Haram a offshoot of extreme fundamentalism of Islam?
Islam, yeah.
Okay.
They are. Boko Haram, I can't tell you exactly what it means, but they've been around for a very long time. And as much as we feel as though they have, dissipated in the last few years, there's always some other bit of the news. Boko Haram did this. Boko Haram, whatever, abducted 100 girls last year from a random school, and they brought them back, which is strange.
It's a little joyride.
Right. It is not like.
And come back.
It is not fun at all. So what is going down right now is that already 200 Nigerians went back to the motherland, to their motherland, and had to repatriate with no financial assistance at all.
Oh, wow.
Families coming back to the country, just like what we're doing right now with ICE taking families and bringing them back on planes and buses and just saying, do your own thing.
It's crazy. Like, just to, expand on what Super King was already saying, like, interesting is not the right word, but like, because it's like terrible consequences, but it's crazy to see how like there's just, xenophobia, everywhere in like every culture. And I mean, ideally you would think people would have like just a little more compassion for people fleeing violence like that or whatever it is. But
The only
I
people
mean,
who
it
have
just
compassion
sucks
right
that,
now are the there's this. You read the article too. There's this guy who is part of the diaspora of Africans and blah, blah, blah. He's part of this group who is all about making sure that if people do migrate to a different part of Africa, then they are settled and they are doing well. They have assistance. They have aid and funds. And at this point, there's nothing you can do. The only thing the president of South Africa is fighting for right now is just for the violence to stop, but not exactly to keep the Nigerians in South Africa and not have the repatriation happen. There's only about 30,000 Nigerians in South Africa right now, 190.9 million in their country alone, but 30,000. But out of 30,000, still 600 is a pretty chunky number. But how does that exactly affect their economy if you only take out 600 people? Like there's 8.5 million people in New York right now. Imagine if they took out, 2,000 people out of New York. Will that really affect the economy of New York if you took out 2,000, Nicaraguan?
Well, probably on a macro level, probably not, but on a micro level of, the way that
I
people
feel like
are.
it's more of a symbol than an actual
Yeah.
something actually happening.
And go on.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that, I had very similar sentiments when I read the article because I was not familiar with this story either. It's just, and this is not the only immigrant crisis in the entire world. It's happening in a lot of...
Or even in that country alone, or in that continent alone.
Sure, of course. It's happening all over, and it's like, I don't know what the answer is. I don't think we're going to solve it as we're drinking pink lemonade vodka. But I just think it's like that's the biggest takeaway from this is that it's like it's not just in the U.S. and we're super involved in this whole crisis with ICE right now, and it's like
that was the whole point of this even happening. That was the whole point of us even having the conversation. This headline alone is very similar to what's going on today, but it's actually happening across the pond.
One thing to bounce off what you had said about things that being changed over liquor. So I was watching the documentary about you know his name, the fuck man.
The fuck
He
boy?
he was he was
You know
good
that
dude.
guy,
He
the
was
fuck,
the one
fuck
who
dude.
shit, man. Okay, so
What did he do? What did he do?
I'm not right. I'm the worst.
The
The situation is not Jersey Shore, but the real situation is
He got out of prison. I'm very happy for him. Shouts to Mike
happy for him,
Sorrentino.
too. You know,
Yeah.
cheers, Mike.
Sorry.
Cheers.
I don't even like
Shouts
the
to Mike and
situation.
Lawrence. No, he's really reformed now. Sorry.
Is he still telling bad jokes on a Trump roast, or like?
Wait, what?
You don't remember the roast of Donald Trump on Comedy Central? He told some of the worst jokes.
No, I
and
didn't know he
there was
participated in that.
crickets everywhere. Like there was no one was laughing.
I
I
hope
didn't
you
know that,
maybe
but I
that's when
can
he was
imagine
still
what
an
happened.
alcoholic and drug
It was
addict. I'll
horrible.
let it slide.
It was horrible. Sorry.
So-
Super King.
It's a hall
So
pass.
hall pass.
That was our tangent.
Zach Morris, let's get that hall pass.
Hey.
Break the fourth wall and everybody freezes. Except for Screech when he's shooting his porno.
Oh my god.
Splatterhouse
I have so
gang.
much to say about that. You could have like a whole
I feel like
side
Super
pod
King
now.
There's foreshadowing to that because I feel like that was seen. Like you could tell that was his. Oh, I got my mic cut. The Illuminati got me,
I
baby.
didn't touch his mic. I didn't touch his mic.
Screech
at
was
all.
listening.
He was like, "You will not talk about my sex tape that I shot and
Yeah.
leaked as a sex tape, but actually really shot it as a sex tape."
Secaucus.
Oh my
okay,
gosh.
my mic is. Oh wait,
We have
I'm not liking
technical
this.
Oh,
difficulties.
he's not 3.
I'm 4. Check. Okay, I'm good. I'm
Okay,
good.
so back to this
So-
immigration crisis
Okay, so-
on the
so-
African continent.
So the serious thing that I was trying to say before was that I was watching a documentary. I forget the gentleman's name. He was a leader, but he used to have these little powwows in like this shitty apartment that looked like something here in New York that cost $2,800. But people live in a closet, right? And they had like Pepsi and alcoholic drinks, and it was all these important people. All of them that eventually have changed the world currently as it stands. And they were just shooting the shit on like how can we make things either to our advantage or to the actual concern of our people if you're, one of the good guys, and that's a very arbitrary thing in itself. So no, I don't believe that.
You're right. Let's not knock
Let's
it.
let's
We're here.
let's not undermine
None of
our.
us knew about this until Roberto curated this panel.
Yes, so
And that's
thank
why
you.
I'm here.
And I'm just
yeah.
drunk.
I'm here.
I'm just drunk.
And
so,
props to Roberto for always bringing the world news to attention because, we live in our little bubble, but Roberto,
Yes.
shows us what else is going on. So.
Roberto,
Because I read
have-
about the world news,
Yeah.
and once you read more about the world news, all your little problems that happen here in America, or even at work or at home, or like no matter whatever you like, people are like metaphorically slitting their wrists about is like nothing compared to what's actually going on out there. And that's why I read the world news. I learned so much more about humans in general, the world as a whole, instead of our little bubble that we live in, especially in this city where like there's 8.5 million people, but you're still alone somehow.
I'm a
Like,
very
that's why
big
I look it up.
I'm a very big reader of Reddit. Very much love Reddit. And Donald Trump news tends to hit the front page of Reddit pretty often. And I'm not trying to go down a Donald Trump tangent at all. But just
It
saying,
makes him like the best marketer.
Donald Trump sneezed in a tissue. It's on the front page of Reddit. And somebody, another thread had hit the front page a couple weeks ago and said, someone who was obviously not American, was like, why is this Donald Trump American news always on the front page of Reddit? There's so much other shit going on.
Yeah.
in
I don't
the
get it.
rest
Is
of
this
the
the
world.
Reddit, the front page of the Reddit home page?
Yeah, just
or is
like
this
front
like,
page, like popular, like what's trending on Reddit. It's like American news Trump headlines are always like
right.
4 of the 10 things that are up at the top. But you're right. When you start looking around, you're like, there's a lot of other stuff
Look
going
what happened
on
when
in
it
the
was like
world.
Henry Ford or Jimmy Carter. Like no one really like.
Reddit was not around back then.
I know. But I'm just saying, like, were they always making the headlines back then? No, everything else.
It was a different time.
Right.
like-
Of course, it was a different time. Like even Obama himself, whenever something major happened, yeah, he made the front headlines, but we were still talking about other things. We were talking about like Tom Petty's death, or like something like has to do with music or film or other forms of entertainment, because Obama was just there. He was doing his thing and he was there. Like, one thing with Trump is that he will always stay in the news because he will always do something that for shock value. That's what makes him one of the best marketers of our time right now. That's the only compliment I will ever give him. I'm sorry, but he's.
I totally understand what you're saying. It's just like
he's just as good as like Kim Kardashian.
I was just about to say.
I'm not gonna lie. It's exactly what's going on.
You can hate,
but you know what's funny? What's funny is that that's what's making Reddit news, right? And then when it comes to reality shows, Kim Kardashian, someone just got pregnant recently. That's what's making the news for everyone else in their own bubble, right? That's what's keeping us distracted from knowing that there are 600 Nigerians being repatriated back to their country, leaving South Africa.
Because of violence, for this very same reason that people are getting upset in this country. In South Africa, they're upset that foreigners are taking their jobs, so they're attacking their businesses and lighting them on fire.
But they're also attacking businesses of South Africans. It's like, Rodney King gets beat, and all of a sudden we're going to start rioting all over the place. Martin Luther King dies, and we start rioting. We start rioting even black-owned businesses.
You know what's interesting? You know what's interesting about the point that you're making right now is I was watching a documentary on because it's a common thing in black communities. Oh, you motherfuckers! When shit happens, you're gonna come around here and burn all our businesses down, and but we didn't cause the problem. So why are you burning shit down in here?
Exactly.
But during the time in Watts, there wasn't a lot of jobs coming in, and a lot of the businesses were owned by either Korean or other ethnicities. And so those black people at that time were like, fuck, we can't get work, but these people will come in here. And that's of a much bigger scale, because that's not even the Korean people's fault. There's shit going on that's beyond that scope that is allowing all of this macro type shit to happen. And so the people felt that they were justified in burning these businesses because they weren't eaten to begin with.
Right.
And so they had no there was no money circulating inside of the community, and so they felt justified by doing those type of things. And I'm in no way giving an excuse to that, but I'm just saying adding to the pieces of the puzzle that you've already
maybe just lighting
presented.
Stuff on fire makes people feel better when they
fire does make you feel better. I used to light shit on fire when I was a kid.
Well, I went to University of Maryland, and we would riot whether we won a game or lost. So I don't know, but actually, so just to sort of
sounds like an Eagles fan.
Well,
right there.
the
Sounds like some.
Speaking of Splatterhouse, I saw some questionable stuff when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. That riot footage. But I do have one question related to the situation, because with the sort of immigration issue in the States, right? Factually, and if you look at it economically, the United States can completely handle the immigration coming in, and studies have shown immigrants benefit the economy, at least when it comes to the States, right? In South Africa, is the crisis being I don't know the status of their economy. Can they handle an influx of people? Can their economy, you know what I mean? Are the jobs really being taken, or is this quote unquote, is this fear mongering? You know what I mean?
Could just be a question in general.
I don't know. I don't know how their economy is.
That's a very good
question.
And Steve Jobs was a Syrian immigrant of Syrian
really?
families. Yes,
seriously, I did not know that.
So there goes to show how someone
as she grabs her iPhone, she's like,
look it up. Look it up.
It's a droid, unfortunately. But
never mind.
Oh, don't hate on the droid.
No, I'm droid for life. I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Wait, Jamie, are you shooting a live feed? Does the picture look good? That's a droid.
Do I look good?
There you go. Hey.
I'm Rick James.
That's a droid, and the picture looks good.
Computer blue.
All right, I'm glad we weren't. We weren't sad and sort of dismal towards the end of that topic, so we can move on to another topic.
Yes. What is the next
Perfect
topic?
happy juxtaposition. Let's please talk about what's going on with Israel.
Another thing I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't heard that news either. Yeah.
Yeah, but this has been happening for the last 2 years.
My ass would have read it. I would have known.
This
you
was-
wouldn't have read it.
Did you read the article?
I was playing basketball.
I did read the article.
The
Yeah.
article had me cracking up. I thought it was a little funny.
I think spy shit is funny in general.
They're like, we're not
All right,
doing it.
so one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so for those who don't know what's going on right there, the United States government is accusing Israel of planting spy devices near the White House.
They found
Now-
spy devices.
Now, there's a couple funny things about this topic. There are spy devices, right? One, they say that they're the size of a briefcase. If you don't notice any spy device the size of a briefcase, like this is like 1970.
Yeah, that reminds me of that Seinfeld episode where George tried to tape his boss talking shit about him with the briefcase.
Right,
and the tape
exactly.
recorder, like-
Great episode. Wonderful episode. Now,
I was watching
these
Martin.
spy devices. These spy
Fair enough.
devices are called. They were formerly called International Mobile Subscriber Identity Catchers, IMSI catchers. They're now called Stingrays. Okay.
That was my nickname in high school, and I
Stingray.
fucking hated that because
Why?
that
Right.
government name is Andre.
So-
And so it's Stingray.
Wow.
Fuck you, asshole.
No, that's a reach.
That's a
I don't
reach.
condone that reach.
So for the
Don't
past
let-
2 years, this has been an ongoing investigation from the FBI, the CIA, the DHS, NSA, and Secret Service all together.
Whoa.
Now, this has also been informed to our administration.
Donald Trump.
To our administration.
Is Edward
to where
Snowden
the administration has been taking this information very lightly. What's funny about this
Shocker.
story is that Israel themselves are like, "Pfft, we don't know what you're talking about. Now, for the last 2 years, 5 of these government agencies in America have been experimenting with different spy devices from other countries, and they're saying that the thing is, the way this thing has been constructed, the way it's been made, the way it's been planted, the residue from these devices, everything has everything to do with previous Israeli devices. They've been able to compare one to another, and they've concluded that these devices have come from Israel. Now, if you remember some of our history from the last year, we're actually allies with Israel. Israel is doing quite well. They are the 4th country in the world to have a space program that made it to the moon in general. We helped them move their embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. So we assisted in their moving their embassy.
So why are they listening to us?
Right.
Why-
See, the
what
reason.
is
Y'all motherfuckers is in space.
Okay, so why
listening?
That's a great
Fuck,
question.
boy.
That's a great question.
you
Why are
gotta-
they listening to us now? The Stingray is already a instrument of spying on people's cell phones. The Stingray acts as its own cell phone tower. So your phone becomes numb or dumb to the fact that it's responding to a certain tower that isn't its actual tower. The Stingray is the size of a briefcase acting
all
as a
your
tower.
nudes, all your little
All your
text-
data.
X video.
It traces.
all your porn searches.
So it traces
are
your
going to that.
location. It traces your location. It acts as it traces your text. It knows who you are, what you're saying, and what you're. The thing is, now there has been evidence that people in politics, for instance, some of the higher powers in our American government, the administration,
Ivana
they use
Trump.
the Stingray to spy on other people in the same administration.
Ooh,
The Stingray-
that's shady.
The
Yeah,
Stingray is not a
100%.
device that was made in Israel.
So
The
Ivanka
Stingray.
is like, what is Jared searching?
Exactly,
on
see?
every videos?
Now,
What is-
one
Probably
Stingray.
something really creepy.
Here's
like,
some bit of information. Now, here's some bit of news. One Stingray costs $150,000.
Who got
You
that
gotta
money?
have
That's light work. though.
Exactly.
This is nice.
Exactly.
This is nice.
And you know where
This
it's
is
made?
not light money, baby.
Do you know where the Stingray is made?
Ah,
It's made in my hometown in Melbourne, Florida,
of course it is.
by Harris Corporation.
Because everything is
Harris
made in
Corporation
Florida.
specializes in biotechnology and government technology, like weapons in general. It's very scary, and I was raised in that area. I actually lived
Really?
near the president of Harris Corp.
Are you serious?
So
Very
you got
scary.
the plug on the Stingray. You're gonna
Right,
be,
I didn't get the plug
like-
on the Stingray, and they didn't like. A lot of my friends actually work for Harris Corp. A lot of my
A
friends
deeper,
are
darker
cool.
criminal link.
Yeah.
What if
If you
one
live
of
in
your
Melbourne,
friends-
Florida, you're either doing like auto hobby stuff, you're like living in the beach, or you work for medical, or you work for Harris Corporation,
Or you're doing meth.
or you're doing meth.
Fifth.
Exactly. Like,
career
yeah,
choice.
Melbourne and Palm Bay, forget about it. There's drugs
swinging.
flowing everywhere. But
No, that's here.
I want to hear, Lex didn't chime in much on the repatriation situation in Africa. I want to hear a little bit more about how you feel about your people spying.
I mean, no, first of all, like, I don't agree with a lot of this. Most of the things that Netanyahu's administration in Israel does, like, they're not good people. Like, so, but at the same, like, I don't know, like, spy stuff is just funny to me because our administration sucks. Their administration sucks. It's just two sucky administrations going at each other. That's how I feel about it. Yeah, exactly. Like,
I knew he was going to say that.
yeah.
The funniest thing about that whole article to me was the very last line. So when they go through this whole thing, they're like, oh, we think Israel's spying, and Israel's like, we are not spying. And the
Sounds
U.S.
Russian.
is like, no, we think you're spying, and they're like, we would never do that. But then the very last sentence was the U.S. intelligence representative saying, well, what do you think we're doing in Tel Aviv?
Oh!
Twist.
Twist!
Oh, man.
Jim Jones is out there with Cameron. Dipset.
No lie, you know this.
Oh
Spying!
my God, the people that are living
Spooky.
Spying! Eagle.
You know what's funny? Jamie and watched so much Homeland. I don't know how the show's not back yet. We learned so much about spies, and then we ended up at the Spyscape Museum.
Oh, is it cool?
I
It
just
is
booked
so
an event for them.
awesome.
Oh,
for their
nice.
team.
Wait, do you want to know one thing that's funny? Okay, so we learned so much about spies. We did the whole James Bond exhibit and all that. We learned we actually had to take tests, and like the people in the FBI take tests. And at the end of the exhibit, the end of the whole museum, they tell you what kind of spy you would be, whether if you're like a field operator or whatever, if you're like more intelligence in the background and analyze, whatever. Who were the people that were in that spy museum more than anyone else? Families. Yeah, but who? No, but who? No, there were not a lot of Asians over there. Do you not remember? No, I don't. There were nothing but like Hasidic Jewish people. Yeah, do you not remember? Yeah, do you not remember now?
What?
There were nothing but just Jewish people all over the Spyscape Museum.
Was it
On,
like
what
a
is it,
class trip?
1844 or
Like a
something like that?
yeshiva class trip? Like,
It was so weird. We were like, there's a lot of Jewish families here.
interesting.
Yeah,
Hasidic Jews. It wasn't just
Also,
Jewish
what kind of
people.
spies
Well,
were
for
you
one thing, I
guys?
can't just
like-
like walk around and be like, they must be
Yeah,
Jewish.
well,
No, they were actually like Hasidic Jewish people in uniform. All right.
You
Like-
know what's also great about being
the
an
proper
Hasidic
attire.
Jewish spy? You have a lot of room to a lot of places to hide things.
Wow. Okay.
Oh wow! And
You're allowed to make those
on
jokes,
my
I can't.
end, I'm wondering, is there like any black spies? Like, do you see as soon as you see that brown skin?
Ooh.
I don't know
Yo,
about this.
spy.
You know what?
Spy?
Do you watch Mindhunters?
Nah, I don't.
So this was crazy. It's not to give anything away on Netflix, but there's one scene in season 1 that I think is going to come back in season 2 because I was reading some spoilers where they were interviewing a black agent to be in the role of interviewing like serial killers, but they didn't hire him because they're like, most of the prisoners are white and probably racist. His presence is going to skew the test. It was just
Oh,
an interesting scene. Like,
Right now, I'm
believe it.
working on
Yeah.
City on a Hill, which is a great it's a movie or a TV show from Ben Affleck, Matt Damon about the
Green
was it
light.
armored car jackings over in Boston in the early '90s.
I was about to say, this has to have something to do with Boston.
Of course, it has to do with Boston. But Kevin Bacon is this cop, and like and it's about like this black assistant to the DA, and it's hard enough. Like, forget spying. It's hard enough to be like an assistant to the DA in black in the early '90s, trying to like crack cases. And if you haven't read The Spook Who Sat by the Door,
Right.
amazing movie, well, I didn't see the movie, but I did read the book. Oh my gosh, it's about a black
What?
guy who ended up joining the FBI, learned so much from the FBI. He ended up leaving the FBI and starting a revolution. It was such a great book. But yeah, there are black spies out there.
So
Like,
one question I have. So there's the movie. I know this is totally off topic, but there's the movie Ad Astra with
Brad Pitt.
Fight Club, Tyler Durden. So Tyler Durden
Ad
is in
Astra?
space now, right? Tyler
Is this
Durden.
Wait,
is
that's
in
a
space.
spin-off of
No,
Fight?
it's
What?
not a
I was gonna
spin-off.
be like, what
But
the-
Brad Pitt is always going to be Tyler
like-
fucking Durden.
Oh, I thought, all
you
right.
know this.
He was
He's
made
like
for that
Machete
role.
in
He was meant for that. So Tyler Durden is in space. We don't even refer to him as Brad Pitt anymore.
It's fine.
And
You mean he's not
Tyler
Joe
Durden
Black?
was
You
in
don't
this
refer to him
movie.
as Joe Black?
Oh God. Oh, so there's this there's always a contingency. Black Twitter is like, why the fuck are we back again with more white people in space? Where are the black people in space? No black people ever went to the fucking moon,
There was only 12 people that ever been on the moon.
and it was all white. Neil
And
Armstrong.
then God said it was all white.
Let there be white.
Oh,
Well,
man.
well, Donald Trump did just recently announce the
Space
Space-
Force, something like
Space Force.
Oh
Something like
yeah,
that.
he
What was
just
that?
wants to play that arcade game in real life.
Wait, he's still on this Space
Oh,
Force
he's
shit?
still on it.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
His
Can't guarantee there's going to be any black people involved. It's Donald Trump.
But there are also no aliens. So who are we fighting in this, like, these space wars?
That was my thought.
Wait,
too.
but
I'm like,
what-
who are we defending ourselves against?
The people storming
The water
Area
life
51
found in
though,
Mars.
right? Like,
those amoebas just doodling
The
around.
the Greys versus the xenophobes and the agoraphobic people,
The agoraphobes.
We don't
led
have to worry
by
about them. They're stuck inside. They don't want to come out.
led by Donald J. Trump himself,
send that motherfucker to space.
the
Like,
legendary
oh.
wig, which is controlling his brain.
Wow.
I heard you get really nauseous going to space. That's the main reason why I wouldn't want to go.
I would never go. I have such
Yeah.
terrible motion sickness.
I can't even go on those carnival rides where
Absolutely
with the UFO
I
thing.
hold everyone's
Like,
bags at the carnival.
smart.
Probably.
I'd rather do that
You
too.
go, I'll hold
Yeah.
your stuff.
Get a
I
cord
don't-
You
dog.
know
like,
what's
yeah.
interesting? I've actually in my time I had like this whole era where I was just in amusement parks for no fucking reason, and
What are you doing? Creeping
right.
around amusement parks for no reason.
Jamie, I'm taking your drink.
No, it would either be like summer camp shit because I was like a camp counselor at one point and all this stuff, or I was attending camp. And then I would see people. It would always bug me out seeing people come off the rides like puking. Like that was such a bizarre thing.
Yeah.
Like you got sick.
You
That's
knew.
crazy.
You knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
To you.
But I've have a extreme fear of heights
Same.
to the point that my legs start to buckle and shake. Even like I don't know if you've ever been to the IMAX theater in the 60s of like Harlem, right? Like
been there.
uptown.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I
So
saw Avengers 2 in that one.
bet.
Yeah.
So there's the IMAX that is like way up at the top of the theater, and that's a huge building.
Right.
So I'm on that escalator and my knees literally buckled on the escalator and I was shaking the whole time.
Jesus.
So I have an and then there's also like I had this whole episode with like acid, and I think that like reconfigured
It just sounds
my
like
brain.
you wouldn't be a
Wow.
good spy. I just
No, I would be like a dysfunctional spy, but I
It'd be
still
like,
get the job
you
done.
can't-
Some
you
Prozac,
can't-
some Adderall, make it through. Being a Nubian,
That sounds like a show, like a
The
spy
new
with afraid
spy.
of heights, a black guy like paving the way. Like that's a show.
But
like,
he
yeah.
can't climb up higher than
Yeah.
10 feet.
And he won't swim at all. Like, he ain't going underground. no more.
Fuck you, bro. I love water. I'm a Pisces. I love water, bro. Water gang.
They're like, you got to go up and check out the city from this clock tower. Oh,
And then, as soon as they say that,
get it together. Get it together.
get it together, Joe. Get it together.
Dysfunctional spy.
Dysfunctional.
Yo.
And I totally go back to you, Roberto, because I totally lost my on a tangent.
Well, I think
Um,
it's probably the Israelis, and
Israelis.
It's good to hear that. It's good to hear that we're spying on them back.
I like when you say the Israelis. Like, you almost there was a hint of racism when you said that.
Wait, when you said your original
There was
name,
a
I
hint-
thought you were
Yo,
Jewish.
Roberto, there was a hint of how it beats.
Polish?
A lot of them.
Yo.
But
It
yeah.
was probably those Israelis. It was probably those Israelis.
But
There's
But-
blacks buying cars. It's a caucus.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I will never mess with Israeli spies. Have you not seen Munich? Oh my God, forget about it.
No,
Eric
but-
Bana made sure that Israel knew how to kick ass.
That
in
was
Munich.
like some World War II type shit, right?
It was like
Olympics,
these
right?
Israelis that actually.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but I hate to be the movie ruiner.
We drinking. We
Well,
not
what's
gonna
the
remember this.
statute of limitations of spoilers? That's the question. That movie came out a while ago.
Ooh.
true. If you
Statute of
haven't seen
limitations
it,
on
if you haven't
spoilers.
seen it,
Yeah.
then what are you
Statutes.
doing?
Statutes? Okay.
Statutes.
I like that word.
All right, so
You
in
said-
this show, we're all about solutions and not just. It's not all comedy. You know, it's not all seriousness as well. What can we do about this? Can't even say it with a straight face. What can we do about this situation where we know for a fact that our friends are spying on us, yet we're taking it lightly? What can we do about like they know
We just gotta
there's
spy
a
back.
small part
We
of
just
us
gotta
that
spy
knows
back.
that we're spying on them as well? Should we
Just take your dick out.
should we burn Harris Corporation? Should we burn Harris
That
Corp
solves everything.
and their $1 billion operation?
Floop.
Should we find a way to like attack stingrays? Should we have a little diplomacy, little sit down with Netanyahu? You know, like
I'm gonna go back to 1980s New York City subway etiquette.
Ooh, okay.
there was etiquette in the New York City
The
subway in
etiquette.
1980.
That is the irony of
The
what he's
irony.
about to say.
Okay.
Go on.
Who the fuck is you looking at, bro? Why the fuck are you looking at me, bro? And then, oh, he not to be the motherfucker to be messed with. Let me get the fuck off this train.
I missed this part of Super King. He's already turned. He's not turning. He's turned.
This is Ghostface Super King right now.
What's the next topic on the agenda?
You know what? Since we're having a good time, what?
On Newsy Booze.
Shuts
Boozy
up.
Moose.
Boozy Moose.
That's
Since we're having a good time right now, if anyone's even watching still, they're like, "What the hell are they talking about?" They're not even talking about the headlines
do we
anymore.
have, what's our audience looking like right
We have an
now?
audience over here. Sam Pop.
We have an
Sam
audience.
Pop.
Wait, who is that?
Her audience are popping. You
Gangsta.
I'm stuck. I know.
Did you not just see what happened? Yo.
No, I missed it. What up?
Kristen, it's Kristen.
Hey, Kristen, how you doing?
Oh, we gotta give a
What's
shout
up, Kristen?
Hola, Vasquez. ¿Cómo está?
Hey.
Hola! Toma!
Oh my
Take
God.
that, take
he
that.
is turn things.
Yo,
taking
Kristen.
a turn.
Kristen, I got a question for you right now, okay? Now, if you won $500,000.
Oh.
If you won $500,000, what would you do within 2 years? I'm only asking that. Don't even answer yet. I'm only asking because in Michigan, in the Bay Area, there's a Bay Area. No, Bay County.
I was like, what?
Bay County. In Michigan, in Bay County, there's a couple that was literally charged for a string of robberies. It wasn't just one. It was a string.
Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah, it was a slew. It was a couple robberies that went down, right? This is a couple that won $500,000 in the lottery in 2016, sorry. Stephanie Harvell and Mitchell Arnswall. It almost rhymes. They have been caught with a string of robberies in the Bay County area. Merritt Township, north of Detroit. $500,000.
What up,
2
bro?
years. Robbing houses.
Wait, so they won the lottery and then they started
In
robbing?
2016.
But then they started robbing.
Yeah, even worse. Now, think about this. When they won the lottery, they claimed that they had to give up their car and they were getting evicted the same day that they won the lottery.
Well, that's serendipitous.
2 daughters. Okay, so like I'm just saying. Since then, they said that they're gonna like buy it. Exactly. They were gonna buy a new house. They were gonna pay the college tuition for their kids, and they were gonna do so much stuff, and blah blah blah. Now, the question that I posed to you in the email, panelists, was
If you read the email.
exactly. He was just here to get drunk.
Foreshadowing.
He was just here to get drunk and get mad. All right. Now look,
Angry black.
you win $500,000, right? We know this is an ongoing. This is a story that's through the ages. You win so much money at once. Like you don't know what to do with it. You're gonna be whoever you were when you win that money. You didn't deal with an accountant before you won that money. Why would you have an accountant all of a sudden? Unless someone became like a financial assistant.
So, one question though. So, how much of that money exactly are they getting?
Right, like after
Did they get?
taxes,
After
right?
did they get?
Taxes, yeah.
You could
what
burn
did
through
they-
500K real quick, especially after
Do you know how much
taxes.
500K
Especially in
is?
Vegas.
Even if they got 500K and it was like pre-tax, even if they got taxed by it, what's that? The most if they ordered a lump sum was 250K, maybe.
That's
Not
still
bad.
that's still
That's
something.
still
to
a lot of
work
money.
at.
Now, but if you don't know how to handle your money before that, how are you going to handle it?
Right,
Most
that's what
people
I'm
who
saying,
win the
you could
lottery,
burn
what
through
are the statistics? Most people who won the lottery, within 1 year, all the money's gone.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how much. It could be 37 million, it could be $1 billion. Within 1 year, the money's gone. Why? Because you buy things that require things to be like renewed. There's taxes on those things. There's bills to pay if you buy a big house. There's like mortgages. There's a lot of things going on. Now, if you don't know how to handle the money, you go for broke very quickly. My question was, all right, why do we still have this like keep the dream alive lottery happening, and the people who win the lottery are those who were under a certain tax bracket in the first place?
Well, lottery is a way to raise money for government.
For where in the government?
I don't know where they use that money, but lottery is state sponsored. It's
Right.
a
It
way
makes dreams come true for the people who win and then die in a year. And then dreams come true for the government who use that money towards.
I'll never win the lottery because I'm not telling nobody shit.
Right.
As soon as I get that,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Right.
Remember that guy who claimed his lottery winnings in the Scream mask?
Yo,
Oh,
I don't blame that
shit.
guy.
A lot of people have done that.
You
A lot of
gotta
people have
do
done that.
that because then people come out the woodwork. People
Because
want to kill
okay,
you.
so that's
like,
true.
yeah.
There are certain states. There are certain states that there is a law in a lot of
Ghostface.
states. No, it's true. There's a law in many states that says you have to take a picture with the company, and you have to like present the check. There's a lady in Jamaica who wore the emoji, the smiley face emoji
Yeah, I feel
with
like
her
that's
family.
a better question. What getup would you show up in?
Ooh, good
your
question.
lottery
I would
claiming.
show up in my boxes with a Danny DeVito mask on.
Wow.
That's good.
That is good.
It's
What
always
about
sunny
you?
in
Then a
Rob?
year
Oh,
later,
man,
Danny
that's-
DeVito's no more. All
That's
of a sudden,
tough, yo. Maybe, I mean, it's kind of cliche, but the V for Vendetta guy mask. I mean, that's a pretty
Guy
classic
Fawkes,
mask.
Guy
Yeah.
Fawkes.
Guy Fawkes.
Shout
I
out
feel
to
like
Guy
I would,
Fawkes. That's
I
a-
would want to wear like one of those big mascot heads, like a big like bear
Ooh.
hat or something.
Like Kanye
Oh,
graduation
yo.
type
Chuck E.
shit.
Cheese. I'd show up in a Chuck E. Cheese
E.
costume.
Cheese.
to
I
claim
think I would,
$100 million.
I'm not gonna lie.
Nice.
I think I would show my face just as a personal fu to all my exes and all the people who told me I wouldn't make it, and then 5 bodyguards after that. Like,
Yeah,
right
you
after.
got to get security right away.
I'll have the
Oh,
Pope's mobile, my Pope mobile.
Oh, you gotta
right
be
after.
ultra thugged out.
Mm.
Like, suck my dick. Don't come here asking me for nothing, nigga.
Hi, mom. Hi, mom. Hi, Hal. Hi, mom. Hi, Dad.
Oh, are they
How y'all doing?
watching?
Maybe.
Hi.
It might be.
Super King is one of those friends Roberto didn't bring over, but he always loved him, and so he knew better than to bring me over to the
No,
crib
my mom said,
'cause it
"Oh,
was a
you're so
mess.
sweet."
Because
Just tell me how he was cat sitting.
You're
for
actually
you.
good with parents.
Yeah, you're great with parents. And my Aunt Camille said, "Oh, your friend is so nice."
You're great with parents when they're in front of you. But
I got like
background.
yeah. Go ahead.
in the background, they're just like, I don't know about your friends. King Armor. Like, oh wait, actually, my parents were here in one of the podcasts, and Triple X was here. His name's Triple X.
You was
right.
set up to
Hey.
fail
Right.
from jump on that show.
Yeah, but
bro.
they ended up loving him, and they became friends on Facebook, and they still talk to this day. Even though Triple X was
Friends.
cursing like crazy, and my mother was just hanging
So
out
it's
like
all
with
good, you're
wine.
good.
And, yeah,
Your mom's
yeah.
so cool though. Like,
Oh, forget about it. She's the best.
Is your mom in New York?
She is in Florida.
She's in Florida. Okay.
Yeah, for now. All right. They're also like traveling all over the place selling CBD oils.
Oh.
hey,
What?
get in that
Whoa.
cannabis game, okay?
So they have the best
All right.
CBD oil, by the way. And if anyone's looking to copy a little something for a nice little discount, you just let me know.
You know, a couple
Take a little bit of
months back,
CBD oil every day. You will be free from everything.
Wait, are you doing
and
topically or you take it like orally?
there's a drop. There's a drop that you put like half the drop into
Yeah,
your
okay.
Wrong
Yep.
what she said.
Yeah,
Wrong
yeah,
place
yeah.
to be talking about that.
All right,
No,
Splatterhouse
I was
gang.
gonna say, I gotta
I'm not joking
text
though.
from my
Y'all gotta
mom.
hit me up about this because this actually works. I haven't been sick in God knows how long.
I got a text from my mom a couple months ago, and she was like, have you ever taken CBD oil before? And I could tell there was some hesitation there, and I was like, yeah, I talked her through it a little bit. She's like, I think we're gonna buy some. My mom has really bad psoriasis, and my brother has very bad eczema. We're like a family
stuff
of
works, though.
skin problem. So she's like, I think we're gonna get this, and I was like, all right, cool. But those moments when you're like, am I living in a simulation? Like that was one of those moments. Where I'm like, is my mother texting me about cannabis? Like, yeah, she
But
is.
that's the world we're living
Yeah.
in
It
today.
is.
No, my
It's,
family is ready to
yeah.
try microdose THC products. I was telling them about these gummies that are only 2.5 milligram THC. They're ready to do it. Like, yeah.
That's amazing.
different life.
Different time,
different
yeah.
time.
But real quick,
yeah.
one more time, Lex, what would you do with $500,000?
Oh, all right. I got to be like smart. I would pay off student loans, buy some property, put the rest in a bank. I know this is very like adult. It's,
right. It's cliche, but it's true.
If you asked me 5 years ago, I probably would have said something totally different. But yeah.
You pay off debts. Right.
Yeah, and buy property.
That's 500,000. Oh, okay. I was going to say.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So you'll buy like things that you can fit into your asset column, so your liability column.
Yeah.
According to Robert Kiyosaki, whatever his
Kiyosaki.
Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
right?
okay,
You
okay.
buy more things that would like add to your assets. Okay.
Yeah.
Super King armor.
I'm going on tour, baby.
Yeah.
We going everywhere. I'm going to
Yeah?
perform on every single fucking
Hey.
stage as possible, and of course pay off student loan debt. But yo, there's this show on True TV. You know it, Sam.
I do.
Sam knows a lot of things. I need to hang out with Sam more. She got the inside.
Sam's
Yo, I
busy.
want to go to Sam's house parties, and I want
and
to go
throw
to Baltimore
mannequins
Lane.
on fire out
And
the
Bob
window
Fireball.
with the toga party.
Yo, Fireball Nips. What does she call it?
Fireball nips.
Yo,
Nips.
next party's burning mannequins.
Oh.
Wow,
I
Birdo.
like the
Do
pun.
it. Let's do
I
it.
like the pun.
Pay off student loan, but there's this show, I forget the name of it, but they revolve their focus around paying off student debt. It's on True TV, and they have this thing called a lightning round where you could call in either Mondays or Tuesdays. It's always live, and you can answer trivia questions to pay off your debt based on what your major was.
Ooh.
But
Wow.
That's
isn't
fire.
their tagline though? They're like, we know it's not everything, but at least we've made a dent. Because
Yes.
people don't ever win enough to actually pay off their
Yeah,
And you
True,
know what's
okay, yeah.
crazy about that show? You have people that go on there that have, they've graduated. So they've got degrees in their, the thing. And then they go on there and can't answer some of the fucking questions about because they, in the final
I
round.
can't knock that. I
$100,000
forget a
worth
lot of
debt,
things,
and
like,
you
yeah.
can't even answer what some of the hypotenuse is. Like,
We almost
what
got
are
a guy here. $500,000.
$500,000 worth of debt. I would pay off the very small amount of student loan debt that I have.
You
I
said
would-
$500,000 worth of debt.
No. If I had $500,000, I would pay off the very small amount of student loan debt that I have. I would buy investment property. I'd ask my immediate family members if they needed anything, and then I would probably invest in some really good camera equipment, quit my job, and travel the world.
Nice. I
Ooh,
would
that's a
pay-
good one.
I'd probably do $500,000 worth of Fireball nips.
I've been
Here we
there.
go.
It's a lot of fun.
All right, we have to get out of here. One more
Really?
plug. We do. It's been an hour already.
Oh my God,
man,
time
right?
flies.
Exactly.
When you're
Jade is like,
boozing the
if you
news.
don't wrap this up.
All right. Yeah, she gave us the wrap it up beat.
All right, so we got a
Ooh,
plug.
All right, so
You better wrap
plugs,
that gavel
plugs,
up.
Plugs,
Sorry.
plugs. All right, Lex Rush.
Yes.
Where can we find you? What do you do exactly? And
I am a MC, both recording artist and freestyle. You can find me Lex Rush wow, I can't speak. Lex Rush 13 on all your social media platforms, and check me out on your favorite streaming services, especially Spotify. Do it up.
we sound really good for people who just downed an entire bottle
Whole
of pink
bottle.
lemonade vodka.
Whole bottle.
All right.
Super King Armor, entrepreneur, savior of the free world. You can. I need you to find my album titled "Gone Is the Illusion" on every single streaming service, but the streaming service I want you to focus on is on Bandcamp. And the reason why I want you to focus on Bandcamp is because I need to get the rest of my credits so I can get 10% share of all earnings through Bandcamp. And so I want you to focus on going there.
no
Also,
idea.
Do it.
I didn't even know that.
there's three levels to Bandcamp. There's the credits for being able to upload certain things, and I'm $170 away from doing that.
Jot that down, musicians. Wow.
And then there's, but you in order to get the 10% share, you need to make a gross of $5,000 in sales. And so I will encourage people to go there all the time to stream, to buy, and do all of that. That is a goal. I'm a very ruthless and relentless man when it comes to my goals. So come out to Nocturnal Rhyme Sessions. What a segue, right? Come out to Nocturnal Rhyme Sessions every Thursday night. If you are a freestyle MC in New York City, whether you are beginning or an expert or a legend, come out, show love. It's all love. 8 p.m. to 12 midnight, and once a month at the end of every month, last Thursday of the month, we are at Anyone Comics from 8 p.m. to 12 midnight, hosting a cypher party It's fucking amazing. Our next party is October 31st, which is a Halloween party, and we are going to fucking have a blast.
Oh, hell yeah.
So come out and let's do the damn thing. And I think that's all I should be promoting right now. Right now, I have a lot of things that I'm not going to talk about that I need to.
We'll bring you back in Boozy News and talk about it.
Yeah. I'm kind of popular here, but, I guess I make it work.
All right, speaking of popular.
Pop!
Hey.
All right, you guys can follow me at SamPopNYC, SAMPOPP NYC. There are 2 P's. Or you can follow Madam X NYC. That is the other account that I run. If you are looking for anything event promotion, management, marketing related, I am happy to do so. Looking forward to talking to you.
We should talk.
And thank you so much for having me on Boozy News.
Thank you. Thank you, audience, for even watching. I am Roberto De Jesus, the host of Boozy News, although I feel like the panelists here are the hosts, and I'm just here just to listen.
We need like 6 hours.
Yeah, we
good
could.
times.
That's
Supreme
what
Bars,
we need,
Boozy
but-
News, Supreme Bars, part
2
of
more
Sky's
bottles,
Crescent Radio,
free.
part of City World Radio. Thank you so much for listening. You're all amazing. And stay tuned. Supreme_bars, at Supreme_bars, at Supreme_bars. We love you. Thank you, Jade Zabrick, for everything.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Deuces.